All right, we are live, everyone, here on the NWS Network. Hello, everyone. This is Cody Braden here, part of the NWS, live in the NWS Network right now, and this is episode number 2 of Brainerd's Controversial Discussions. And today, guys, is another one more on the sad side rather than the last episode, which was about a guy who was a practical piece of shit. I mean, well, the guy who did this, whole thing that I'm going to be talking about, for those of you that don't know, is a piece of shit, but, you know, he is obviously taken into custody, and which, by that sentence alone, people are already probably going to be talking, so I'm going to wait a minute to get a couple people in here watching. Feel free to join the discussion down in the comments below, and feel free to give your thoughts on this whole thing. If you know what I'm talking about, and you already have an intel thought that you would like to give out, then feel free to go ahead and leave it in the comments below, and let me know what you think. If you disagree with some of the stuff that I believe personally on that is all fine and good. I'm open for any other opinions as to why, because at the end of the day, we all need to keep this in mind. There is no right or wrong when it comes to opinions. Like, people have their own opinions on things, on certain topics, and certain, I guess, I don't want to call them beliefs per se, but certain things, I guess. And I really don't want to use the word things, because there's a better word for that than just the word things, because that's just a pretty basic word to use. Hold on, I'm gonna open up real quick the chat so I could see the comments. And I'm also gonna share this in the NWS group chat as well. Real quick. I apologize for that. NWS group chat. Oh, don't want to report it. It'd be embarrassing if I reported my own video. There we go. Got it. And why not share with Mr. Malik X? Shout out to him, by the way. And why not share with Peter Gilmore as well? Let's get some people watching, and I dare share with them. I think if he comes in, then he comes in, I guess. All right, so let's get the people in here. Type in the comments if you're the one viewer watching right now. We get more people coming in here. That'd be great. One second. Okay, I think I've sent it to the people that I want to send it to. If those that are watching would like to share the link out to people so they can watch as well, get their intake in the comments, then feel free to do so. But I think I'm about ready to go ahead and start talking about this. This is kind of what I've been holding back on for a little bit. But you know what? I have some thoughts on this whole thing. And I'm going to be honest, with certain arguments, I see both sides of the spectrum. You guys probably get an idea what it is when it comes to guns in general. For those that don't know what happened, on Valentine's Day, a tragedy struck in a Florida high school. A gunman who was a student who attended the high school shot and killed 17 people, or 17 casualties. And what was it? I lost my train of thought. I do apologize. I'm gonna read an article real quick that I have pulled up right here from Fox News, saying the suspected gunman who killed 17 at a Florida high school Wednesday afternoon attempted to fire and flee at fleeing students from the building's third floor windows, but the high school impact windows didn't shatter, as Senator said. I guess we're reading bits of updates. Actually, hang on. Let me go down from the event. Okay, so there's part from Wednesday, February 14th at 2:19 p.m. An Uber car dropped off crews at a school approximately 2:19 p.m. Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel revealed at a news conference. The suspect entered the east stairwell, that's building 12, with a rifle inside a black soft case. The suspect exited the stairwell and pulled the rifle out of the case. A couple minutes later, 2:21 p.m., crews, according to the Israel, then readied his rifle and began shooting into rooms 1215, 1216, 1214, and went back to 1216, back to 1215, and then to 1213. He revealed, took the west stairwell to the second floor, where he shot one person in 1234, in room 1234. The gunfire lasted a 3-minute span, according to the sheriff. Israel said Cruz took the east stairwell to the third floor. He dropped his rifle and backpack and ran down the stairs. Cruz eventually left the building with others who were trying to escape. He ran towards the tennis court and then took a southbound turn, the sheriff said. After the shooting, Cruz went to a Walmart and purchased a drink at a Subway store, leaving the Walmart, according to Israel, though he didn't give an exact time this occurred. Cruz then headed to McDonald's and sat down for a short period of time. Students were allegedly texting about the shooters at school. There's obviously video proof as well. Graphic video proof that I'm choosing not to show here. Oops, I pulled up something else completely. At least 5 people were injured, reported at 2:55 p.m. But it was until 2:56 that the sheriff's office warned the public to avoid the area of Stonetown Douglas High School, which was the school that the shooting occurred in, as an active shooter was there, obviously. The shooter was still at large. The shooter... Okay. About 3:41 was when the shooter ended up being taken into custody without incident. And a lot of people right there at that point are going to say, well, why didn't he get shot? Why didn't the officers do what they do when, this is where partly the race car comes into play. Say, oh, well, wait a minute now, and if him is black. You guys get the argument. I don't need to repeat it here because I'm sick of the race car being pulled. And the white privilege crap being pulled is ridiculous beyond belief. I don't think that news report actually covered the entire story, covered most of what had happened, generally what had happened. Around 17 people ended up dying. The person was white, and the reason why I believe the person was white, I'm not going to just assume that language, but language. God, Brainerd, why do you see? This is why I need to practice what I say before I even say anything. Put a bounty on him for what? Scott, I don't get what you just tweeted. Cruz was charged on Thursday with 17 counts of premeditated murder. 14 others were wounded in the shootings, including several with life-threatening injuries. So 70 people were confirmed murdered. 14 others were wounded, and several of those people with life-threatening injuries. So they could be on life support at this time. So happened. people have been saying the story that Cruz did go to that high school and was expelled for various reasons of one case or another. That has not been proven, so I don't know how legitimate that word is. However, if it is proven to be legitimate, then of course it'll be validated as 100% correct evidence. But I'm not going to. I don't know the guy's history in the school, if he even went to that school. But if it was premeditated, then maybe there may be some merit to that. However, I'm not going to be in question to say anything about it. Now, what is the argument here? People have come out and said that there needs to be some sort of change. And there are other people that had said that there doesn't need to be any change with gun control because they don't think gun control will work. The main argument that I have here is guns. You know this, Jake. The gun control argument against what shouldn't, if people shouldn't have gun control. And that's really what this whole thing is going to come down to at the end of it. Let me go to my Facebook real quick because I saved a video just a little bit ago of a young individual who spoke up about this because, and they're calling for action. The Florida kids that are still there who survived the shooting are calling for action because they said that enough is enough. We need to have a change when it comes to the policies for guns here in the United States of America. Now, where do I stand on that? Well, it's obvious that guns can't do this themselves. Guns don't fire and work by themselves. People have to operate the guns in order to fire them away. People are the ones who kill people. However, on the flip side, I'm in firm belief that people, it seems like, are able to obtain these weapons easier than what it should be. That is my whole point on it. There's also another argument here, which I do believe brings in some valid points, that the news coverage and the way that people handle this whole situation when it happens, when I'm talking about mainly the news broadcasters when it comes to this whole thing, is that they need to get the news right away and they don't care about what the kids are feeling. They need to get the scoop and the scoop, the scoop. While, and it absolutely does seem like that. They have a job to do, of course. They've got to get paid somehow. And so they do this for various other reasons. So let me click this video real quick and see if I can show it on screen. I can show it on screen. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear it. Maybe. But there's also subtitles with this as well. So let's get this video up real quick. Kind of pull it up real quick. I do apologize, guys. I probably should have had all this ready. I'm going to attempt to share screen here. Okay. So this is the video that Channel 4 News had posted called Florida Students Emotional Speech After or About Gun Violence. Let's take a look at this. There are subtitles for this, so you guys will be able to look at the subtitles to get an understanding of what this individual is saying. Let's play. Why is it buffering all the time? Is it not gonna play? I don't know. Man. Try. Quality's down there. It's not working for some reason. I don't know why. I don't get why that's not working, but all this footage on Twitter. Yeah, I sent you a message, leaks, so I can get your intake on the whole thing itself. Oh, wait, my internet on my phone is not going well, so okay, never mind. It's going good now. We try one more time to this from there. It doesn't seem like it's gonna be okay. Well, wait, hang on. Might have started working. Malik, I will get you in just a minute. I want to get this more organized first on my end of things before I open the forum up. But I can definitely send you the link to the Hangout, and you can come in just a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the best I can to kind of come up to me and tell me to. Okay, actually, you know what? You can do it like this. One sec. Do it like this. The president wants to come up to me and tell me to my face that it was a terrible tragedy and how it should never have happened, and maintain telling us how nothing is going to be done about it. I'm going to happily ask him how much money he received from the National Rifle Association. It doesn't matter because I already know. $30 million! And divided by the number of gunshot victims in the United States in the 1.5 months in 2018 alone, that comes out to being $5,800. Is that how much these people are worth to you, Trump? If you don't do anything to prevent this from continuing to occur, that number of gunshot victims will go up, and the number that they are worth will go down. And we will be worthless to you. To every politician who is taking donations from the NRA, shame on you. They say that tougher gun laws do not decrease gun violence. We call BS. They say a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS. They say guns are just tools like knives and are as dangerous as cars. We call BS. Every single person up here today, all these people should be at home grieving. But instead, we are up here standing together because if all our government and president can do is send thoughts and prayers, then it's time for victims to be the change that we need to see. We are going to be the kids that you read about in textbooks. Not because we are going to be another statistic about mass shootings in America, but because, just as David said, we are going to be the last mass shooting. There was the video that I was going to show you guys. I do apologize that I wasn't able to pull it up full screen, but that is from the Channel 4 News Facebook account. An individual proudly stood on stage and said that we need change. Here's my standpoint on it. For the most part, I agree 100% with the video. And I think that there needs to be change, and there's a lot wrong with the whole fucking guns and everything. However, it's not just the guns that are the problem. It is people that are the problem. And let me explain on that again. Guns themselves, like I stated in the beginning of this, don't do the harm by themselves. They can't fire by themselves. They can't pick themselves up and go to a school and do all that. No. They are controlled by human beings who purchase those guns. And in America, it seems to be way too easy to obtain these guns. Which that's not good. Something like that, if you've seen what has happened here so far what was it? It's only been like a month and a half of 2018 alone, there's been 18 instances, not school shootings, where a gun has been fired near a campus, whether it was a suicide attempt, whether it was a mass shooting, but and that is because a lot of these people have control and have the ability to have these guns, and that's just, I don't understand why. Like, even some people with fucking criminal backgrounds don't have a problem getting these weapons, and it's way too easy to obtain these firearms, and that absolutely needs to change, because if not, more of these are going to happen. There's going to be more mass shootings. There's going to be more people that are down, that are completely, that are gone because of the, what's the right word? I don't want to say non-caringness, the blatant fucking just unacknowledgement of the problem. And this individual that spoke for the channel in front of a public that was recorded by the Channel 4 News revealed that Donald Trump is actually getting $30 million from the National Rifles Association. And as long as that keeps happening, as long as people are able to obtain these firearms, then that dollar amount is going to increase, like she said. And then people's lives are going to be worth less and less and less. And all Donald Trump does is go on his Twitter account, like he always does when anything goes wrong, and gives prayers and maybe a speech in the public, and that is it. Where will the action fucking begin with this? And that is something that there needs to be more action when it comes to this. Now, however, here's the other side of things, that I'm going to kind of be the bearer of bad news and reality speaking to the individual. This is not going to be the last mass shooting. I think that once action is taken, there won't be as many of these incidents, maybe not, but it's not going to be the last mass shooting, and I would love for it to be the last of it. Unfortunately, that will not be the case. Anyone that gets their hands on guns to kill the innocent people are the problem. Exactly, that's the problem. People are able to obtain these guns, like I've said before, and I'm going to sound like a broken record with that, but that's the problem. That's one of the main problems. People are able to obtain these firearms way too easily, and that needs to be fixed, here in America especially. I read something, after this whole thing happened, that it was in Japan, I believe, that they have to take a written test, pass some sort of background check, and do a few other things as well in order to even get a license. And that doesn't end there. They're not able to get a gun just because they got a license for it. And something like that needs to be done so people don't have as easy of access to these firearms as possible. Remember from Texas, a person who's a gun owner chased after the gunman. He retreated to his truck like a coward. I don't recall which story that is, Gregory. And that's from Texas? Huh. I don't remember that. I feel like I would know about that. But back to the story at hand. Like, and people wonder why, like, I've seen comments before about, why you need to learn how to speak. It's just because when it comes to this kind of topic, Texas church shooting, that, I might have heard of that. If you have more details on that, Gregory, let me know, and I'll see if I remember it by any chance. But that's the problem, and that's where the problem comes in, that all the president cares about is money. When you're the president of the United States, you have a lot of people to look after, millions and millions of people to look after. It's no longer about the money, just about the money. You have people's lives you need to save. And if something like this is happening over and over again, and it's been happening for years, you need to be the president to take the change. And Donald Trump is not doing that. And it's not just him. I'm not putting it on just him. I'm putting it on all the other presidents. I'm sorry. I'm putting it on all the other presidents. I mean, Barack Obama, George Bush, etc., who these shootings have happened under the presidency, and all they've done is given speeches and given prayers and all that, when that's not going to fix the problem. Words don't fix problems, actions do. Actions speak louder than words, and that's a very old saying that will reign true. Gregory says the guy's name is Stephen Wilford. Stephen Wilford. That name does slightly ring a bell. Also, the Las Vegas shooting guys smoking guns and melting like it was magic. In order to smoke guns in, you're gonna need to have a heavy backpack. To fit said guns in, and I believe that when it comes to the Vegas shooting, the guy was actually staying at the hotel of that it was a hotel that he was staying in already that he shot up and decided to create mass chaos. I think it might have started actually with a domestic dispute about the whole thing. But hang on one second. I'm gonna go ahead and bring let me get the let me go ahead and post this here as well. Malik, I'm about to send you the link right now to where you can go ahead and join the discussion to get your thoughts in on this whole thing. I'm also going to go ahead and look at comments as well from the original Facebook video to see if people are, well, while there is no wrong opinion, there is such thing as stupidity. Let us keep that in mind. And from everyone in the chat here, Malik and Gregory, you guys obviously are not in the crowd of stupidity. You guys are very contributing to the discussion, actually bringing in other facts as well about related gun issues that have happened in other places as well. So I do appreciate the outside discussion as well. Get Malik in here and maybe get Scott and other people in here as well. And there's Scott's link right. There's Scott right there looking at it. He probably might join in a minute. Malik gets the message. I believe that's Malik right there, isn't it?
What's up, man? How you been?
What's up, Malik? Long time since I've been able to hang out with you.
Yeah, it's probably been what, 2 years? Okay, down to business. Anyway, yeah, I saw 3 footages. There's a video footage of Trump visiting the wounded in Florida and visiting the hospital. He was standing with some doctors. Said Trump visiting the hospital where the Florida shooting took place, with the doctors saying some words, where the wounded are treated.
Right.
That's all well and good. That doesn't help the situation. And like you said before, a valid point, it's going to happen again because you still have gun stores and people still believe in the right to bear arms for protection. But yeah, a lot of people who are bearing arms, once again, like I said, with no background check, with mental issues or mental cases, like our friend Williford, as the guy mentioned in the chat. So, right. And it's going to happen again. It's going to happen. It's probably going to happen somewhere else. Like I said, see, this is getting scary. You've had 4 shootings this year. Of the gay club last year, you had the Texas shooting, the Vegas shooting, and now this. And this guy was expelled. And the thing is, the FBI was watching him all this time. They knew about him. Once again, this is almost like a homegrown terrorist, like Al Qaeda. They knew what this guy was about. They knew he had mental problems. They probably knew, and they probably knew he owned guns. I think I saw an article where somebody said they saw him over across the street from their house holding guns, at his family's house. And what the fuck were the parents doing? Were they even trying to help this kid and help their son at any time? I don't know. This is what I don't get. It all starts in the home with the parents. You know what I mean? If this kid had a mental issue, he should have been institutionalized or locked up in a straitjacket. That way, no guns, no problems.
Exactly. And one thing that he brought up that's kind of recent and I brought to me is the FBI knew about this? FBI knew that FBI has been watching them this whole time?
Yeah, he's been on the guys. He's on record with the FBI. He's been on radio. He's been on radio for a while. They've been watching him, but I guess they feel, and he's been arrested before. Apparently, he's been in trouble before, but I guess they felt, being arrested. Maybe he's been informed. He's learned his lesson. They didn't want to get sent up for a long time or for life, but they didn't figure on this. Like I said, this dude sounds like he should have been institutionalized. Now, the real story to me, which would be the smoking gun of this whole mess, is what led to him getting expelled. What did he do? Yeah, he was a mental case for a long time. What did he do to get expelled? I had two theories I would discuss with my coworkers at work. Either he was bullied, but that theory is probably very thin to none. On the other hand, whoever got him in trouble, he probably just came for revenge, and he ended up killing innocents. And what I also saw in the footage is some idiot was in one of the classrooms crouching, filming while shots were being fired off, which I thought was ridiculous.
I've seen that footage. One where the gunfire is going off, and then there's another footage of someone else, or it might have been the same person, I don't know, recording for about a minute, and you could see someone laying in the classroom dead, someone being helped out by FBI agents out of the room itself, and just like there's a time and a place to record. That is not the time. And that goes back to the news thing, like I was saying earlier on. There's a time and a place to talk to the kids and like give them time to like fucking cope, and well, not really cope, but like just calm down a bit, because they're like, oh, we need to get the scoop. It's not like they've been doing mass shooting or anything when they fucking just went through it. Like,
true, yeah, but the thing is,
their lives.
Yeah, and my thing is, like I said, if there's a shooting going on and I'm in the middle of it and I hear shots, I am not filming shit. I am going to crouch, or I'm going to run, or I'm going to hide. I am not filming shit. Filming something on my phone is the last thing on my mind. Right. I'll drop the phone and get a new one. I'll drop the phone and run and get a new one if I have to later, but I ain't filming shit. I mean, that's just dumb. But, I guess somebody wanted to be brave. He figured, he'd get him on tape, show it to the news. And the thing is, since he's in high school, he should get a job with CNN or TMZ with somebody right out of high school.
Right. Like, and the thing is, there'd be no need to record or report it at CNN or TMZ or whatever fucking kind of website they wanted to report it to, because again, school-wise, if something's happening in a school, police are going to respond very quickly. So why even need to film for that reason alone? I don't understand. There's no reason to film at all. That would be the only quote-unquote logical reason to film, but that's out the window, because again, schools are meant to educate kids, not for mass shootings to happen. If something's going on, police are going to report there. So you don't need to report in and be like, oh, there's a mass shooting up here. Oh, I'm going to post on social media and wait for a couple hours. It's not going to be a couple hours. They're going to be there like within a few minutes, like at most.
Yeah, seconds. Yeah, a mass shooting, that's basically what you call a 911 code red. And
exactly.
Yeah. And another thing, the shooter tried to sneak out with the kids, which was really dumb because he got caught quick. So, and it's already said he's probably going to be tried and get the death penalty. So,
right now, one thing that was brought up, and I mentioned this a little bit ago, and it's the whole race argument that, and this is one thing that like I can agree that it's kind of fucking bullshit, that it seems like, from what a lot of people are saying, when it's a Caucasian doing this, it's a mental issue. However, if this were to happen with an African-American, people have said, then they say, oh, it would have been a freaking terrorist thing. And like, for me personally, my view on this is, if you go to a fucking school and you're gonna go on a mass killing spree, endangering the lives of hundreds of kids that go to that school, that is an act of terrorism, no matter what the color of your skin is. And
of course, yeah, and I've seen the memes and the jokes, yeah. And the thing is, from an African American's point of view, I can see why he would think that, because the laws can work differently, when it comes to something like this. All seriousness, and I'm not trying to offend anybody. The laws can view it differently when it comes to African American and a Caucasian. But I believe, like I said, whether you're black, white, or even from India, and like I said, Al Qaeda is basically Israelites, Saudi Arabians, right, who did mass terrorist attacks, greater than any shooting, and they should all, well, Bin Laden was killed, of course, but if they'd have been captured and tried in America, of course, all of them get either death by lethal injection or the electric chair. And like I said, they weren't black or white. They were, of India, or basically a Pakistani, descent. Even if you're
Right.
Asian, so if a gun's a gun, no matter what color the person holding it, a shooter's a shooter, no matter what color the person.
Exactly.
So
And
I
touching
believe
on that a little bit, right.
Yeah. So
Touching on it a little
basically,
bit more
go ahead.
before I go back to the mass shooting thing. Like, I am like slightly off topic. I do apologize for that, but I am not a fan of the term white privilege. I think that's one of the most bullshit things I've ever heard in my life. However, I will say there are some circumstances that are clear as day that kind of like this, that if white that mental illness is the excuse for a Caucasian, where if an African American has done this, and there have been African Americans that have done mass shootings before, it automatically goes as a terrorist. And that is bullshit. If you're holding a gun in a school, like I said, and terrorizing hundreds and hundreds of kids who fear for their lives because now a person with a gun is coming to their building, that is an act of terrorism. I don't care what color skin. I don't care if you're from Africa. I don't care if you're from Pakistan. I don't care if you're from India. I don't care if you're from America. I don't care if you're white, black, blue, yellow, green, orange, whatever color you are. I don't care if you're a mixture of all of them. If you do that, you are committing an act of terrorism and should be tried and punished by the biggest of means. And that would mean the death penalty. And I think with that circumstance, I could see clear as day. At times, there's some bullshit that's pulled that I don't appreciate. Now, I fucking hate the white privilege deal, but that kind of fucking, I don't know. I don't know
that's
the right words
America,
for
basically. That's the way of America, unfortunately. And there's already an article I saw been said that somebody stated on Facebook an opinion saying this kid, even though he's been caught, it might be 10 years before he's actually sentenced to death, because one of the ways that they play the game with political, he'll plead guilty, which might the judge might be a little lenient, and it's going to be up to the judge ultimately, but he might serve 10 years before he's executed. That's how sometimes things work. Like another example, it's a little different, but I'm sure you remember the DC sniper. He was black, and the thing is, it was him and his son driving around in the car, and this was like in my home state in Virginia, driving around in the car, premeditated, picking out random targets before he was caught. And I think it took maybe 2 or 3 years when he served, but he was finally put to death by lethal injection. I think his son is basically a serving life sentence though, but he's still alive.
Right.
So yeah, and, I mean, the system works differently with some cases, and then I'm gonna even throw color out the window. Like some cases are basically BS. Like when it comes to a big, I guess a big money case, people get lenient, but when it's someone else, the common person, it's he didn't have a prayer. Like like I said, that doctor who molested all those girls, he basically got life in prison. And I think a lot of the girls wanted him dead, I believe.
Right.
Yeah, but back to the mass shooting. Yeah, like I said, this kid, the FBI watching him for weeks, or basically a day for years. They've had him on the radar for years, probably a year or 2 years at the most. So he was 19. He could have graduated high school, but basically he's ruined his life now. Basically, he has no future, no college, no nothing.
Why was he able to go into a high school then if the FBI was watching him all this time? Like, I wouldn't have taken any risk. If someone's on an FBI watch as a student, I wouldn't have taken any fucking chances. They would have been pulled out of a school and put in some sort of alternative school, or not even school at all. Like,
yeah, institution. Yeah, if he's got that severe mental illness, he should have been institutionalized. But the big question is, how the hell did he get guns? That's what I want to know. Where did he get that gun? And I noticed a pattern with all those shootings. The same gun has been used in all these shootings. It's an AR something 15. It's a military weapon, issued weapon.
AR-15. I've also seen a lot of stories about AK-47s being used as well.
Yeah, but the latest apparently, this one is the latest gun of choice. Apparently, it's a good gun because one was used in the Vegas shooting, and I think one was used in the church shooting. So, and I kind of wonder if it's the same gun. It's getting passed around somehow, unless people are just getting a hold of these guns, paying for them with money under the table somehow.
Right.
If this guy was a mental case, how the fuck did did he get a damn gun? What was he doing getting a damn gun? If he's being watched on the radar, if somebody saw him holding a gun, somebody should have. If the person who stated they saw him holding a gun across the street from the yard should have called the police, and if they knew who he was and called the police then and told him who it was, give him the name, he'd have been picked up immediately, and that gun would have been taken from his possession, and then the Florida shooting would have never happened. This is the slip ups of the local law enforcement and the FBI and government in general. You've got these guys on the radar. You know what they've done, and you know what kind of mental state they're in. Get them off the street and get the guns out of their hands.
Right.
There's no more chances.
Theory that I'm thinking. A theory that I'm thinking that what probably happened is his parents probably already had guns in their possession of some sorts, or maybe he. Yeah, that would probably be the best bet if he was able to get it under the FBI watch from a fucking gun store. I have no goddamn clue how he would have made it past the entryway. And if he could make it past the entryway, and if he did get the gun himself while he was at the FBI watch, that is a fucking massive problem. But Gregor Style, Quarter in 1994 says, Cody, did you know that cars kill more people than guns? Actually, I did hear that argument made along the lines of the video. I don't know about that, actually.
That's up for debate to me. I mean, I know that. Yeah, that's up for debate. Yeah, cars, unless you're just very unlucky, or if you're like some road rage person who which they do exist out there. Of course, I wouldn't say cars kill more than killing people than guns. No, because guns are easier tools to get hold of. I mean, cars are too if they can, if you have the means. But like I said, cars cost more money, or just as much money as guns. Like I said, a lot of guns, good ones like that, would cost like $3,000 to $4,000.
Well, actually, come to think of it, though, that there might be a little bit of merit to it, because there's a lot of there's a lot of drunk driving incidents that have happened, and a lot of DUIs that have happened, which there could be some merit maybe to it. Trying to ban cars. Well, why would you fucking ban cars?
Of course, yeah. People got to get to work, because if nobody had cars, there would be a whole lot of walking going on.
Exactly. Like,
in the streets,
people are not going to ban cars. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at this right now. From between 2000 and 2014. Yeah, there looks to be more motor vehicle deaths from the years between 2000 and 2014 than there is firearm incidents. So that's I'm skimming through an article right now, and they have a couple charts and stuff about and apparently there's more non-firearm deaths than firearm deaths. So that would go as to say, again, people, you got to think of all the other possibilities as well when it comes to that. So it could be car-related issues, it could be suicide-related issues, all that kind of stuff. Welfare number one, Scott says, what do you think of people who want to take over a state and sell drugs and weapons? Don't fucking do that. That's gonna fucking cause more problems. That's just gonna fuck things up even more. We want to fix things, not fuck it up. It's unconstitutional to ban cars, guns, or anything that is constitutional, especially free speech. Well, free speech, unconstitutional. Don't ban cars for free speech. However, the guns thing, I've heard a lot of people talk about getting rid of the Second Amendment. Now, I am a firm believer on keeping the amendments where they are, because I think everyone has the rights to the amendments and have the same rights for the amendment as everyone else does. However, there is a little bit of me that is wondering what would it be like if the Second Amendment was gone and there are two sides. One, it could be the good side, where guns are gone and only military uses them. And that's really where they belong, is the military, because the military are trying to, save our lives. I feel like they need guns more than us humans do. However, it wouldn't stop the killings, because people could break into houses with other weapons, such as crowbars, knives, machetes if they wanted to, all that kinds of things. And there's the bad side of things. And I was just talking about the good side of things. The bad side of things would be, if they did do that, the people would keep their guns and they would use them, and there would be a complete uproar about it. And I think that, where's the shooter? Hold on. All those globalists and liberalists out there can leave us alone. Hillary thinks that the Second Amendment is meaningless. Was the shooter connected to the mob? I don't think the shooter was connected to the mob, Scott. I don't think there was any connection with him and the mob of some sorts. I think he had a case of mental I don't know. It might be mental illness. I don't know for sure. Like, or it could just be a plot for revenge because someone got him expelled and he wanted to cause chaos around the school. It could have just been a whole entire massive plot to get revenge on kids and the school in general. It could be one way or the other. I'm not saying just because I brought up the argument about the whole mental illness for white people, but another thing about African Americans, that doesn't mean that it isn't mental illness. I'm not going to rule that out. However, I did want to point that out early on in the video because I feel like that was a bit ridiculous to me. But for my area, or my case, it doesn't matter to me if you have mental illness. If you're doing this kind of crime, the whole mental illness argument and the excuse goes out the window, and that is an act of terrorism. Mental illness, it is a big factor. I'm not saying like it should completely be ignored, but like, again, terrorism is terrorism, and gun violence is gun violence at the end of the day.
Yeah, true. Yeah, and the thing is, the mental illness issues came in, because of his medical reports, I think, that were posted online. The medical thing is he was supposed to be taking meds, and he was probably just a ticking time bomb. Now, if he was bullied in some way, or if he was getting in trouble, now, if you're going to do something like this, okay, instead of going in shooting innocents, target the individuals that did it, and wait for them to be isolated and alone, maybe, and try to do maybe without witnesses. I'm not saying I condone what he did, but if you're going to do something like this, try to do, I guess you say, I mean, you could try. I'm not saying it's possible. I'm just saying don't target innocents. Just target the ones.
Don't target. I get the argument that you're saying, but at the same time, though, what goes through a shooter's mind is he's there with a gun and he's pissed off. That's the mindset. Yeah. That's the best way I can understand the mindset of people's mindset. Oh, by the way, to respond to your message, is he wanting in?
No, I just wanted to invite him and know he was online. I was wanting to know because you guys are friends,
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know. I'm just gonna say his name, Leon. If you are some chance watching, if you would like in, Leon, let me know and I could get Malik to send you the link. But I don't know if he's watching or not. I know he watched not the last video, but the video before that on my Brainerd Network channel. But I don't know if he'd be watching this right now. But if he is, then awesome. If he wants in, then he can come in. But let me go through one comment on Facebook real quick from the video. Because while I said that there is nothing wrong with opinion, there is stupidity in people who comment at these times. Because I've seen a lot of it from other people's videos as well. One person named Jonathan Woodard said that the person who was speaking in front of the public, is an embarrassment to the victims and to herself. And next time she or someone else writes such a BS speech, at very least practice, because she sounded like a 4-year-old trying to read the alphabet for the first time. And as usual, blame everyone but the guy that did it. Blame the president, NRA, politician, and even the ice cream guy across the street. Why don't you? What a young, dumb generation these youths are. And I don't even want to think about the future of this country with minerals running it. Okay, there's a lot of fucking ignorance over there. Then why aren't you saying, why isn't that person saying anything about the whole thing? All you're doing, Jonathan Dillard, is you're just pointing out what she's doing wrong in the speech, or what you think she's doing wrong in the speech. And she's not blaming the guy who did the fucking shooting. What she's pointing out is that the president, the NRA, and all these other organizations are doing jack diddly squat, except for maybe visit the people, which is all fine and good. I'm happy that he at least visited them to check and see if they're doing great. However, again, like Malik pointed out earlier on, that's not going to fix the fucking problem. So for you to go on there and blame her and say that she's a fucking embarrassment, you are fucking embarrassed yourself by leaving that fucking comment there. And it's stupidity like that I'm talking about, where people are not even fucking talking about the whole shooting thing. They're just fucking blaming her for being a fucking embarrassment. And that is complete bullshit. Which she's not an embarrassment. The person, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I played an audio from a video clip that I just saw recently, which really kind of ultimately led me to go ahead and doing this hangout about this whole topic.
Yeah, her name is Emma Gonzalez, and she was actually a student at that school, so she knows what she's talking about. So the guy whoever Jonathan is, who said that, yeah, he needs to check himself and check the facts. And it's
Right.
not about blaming the president; it's the facts that things, it's the facts that she's presenting, things the president isn't doing that a president should. Stop tweeting, stop sending thoughts and prayers, and stop even visiting. Trying to show, or trying to show the media that you have some kind of sympathy. Actually, do something. I mean, you're the president. You have the power. Do something. See, I wouldn't even talk
Yep.
about it. I would just do it. I wouldn't even talk about it. Press, no press. I would just, hey, look, get my team together. Let's do something once for all. Let's change these gun laws. Let's go to these gun stores, have them temporarily shut down for a while, or put a system in place where any citizen who wants to buy a gun has to go through FBI, CIA, government screening.
Right.
And if you have no record, fine, you can get one. But also, we're going to decide what kind of weapon, as a citizen, you can have. If it's a non-military weapon, fine. You can't have an AR-15. You can't have AK-47. No military government-issued weaponry will not be,
Right.
or will no longer be in the possession of an American citizen's home. So see, that's where you can start. It's not going to fix the problem altogether, but that's where you can start. You can add things and do adjustments later as time goes on. See, it's got to be a process. It's got to be natural, events and causes through time that could really change things and maybe decrease these massive shootings. And for the love of God, even if you're over 18, you can pass a law. Don't let this person have a gun at this certain age. Or like I said, if he's got these problems, don't let him have a gun at all. I mean, these people need to be screened from top to bottom, down to their social security number. Not just them, their families. What kind of home life does he have? What is his mental condition? What is his state? What kind of person is he? And even if he's been in trouble, even just for stealing, for shoplifting, don't give him a gun. He can apply to buy a gun, but if the screening finds a red flag on him, reject it. It's like like a bad piece of meat. Put on this thing, rejected. You cannot have a gun, sir. We cannot sell your gun because of your past criminal record, even if it's just a misdemeanor. That's how that's how you crack down on gun shootings.
Right.
If you can't get one,
Mm-hmm.
if you can't get one, then there's no cause for people to panic. But see, this shooting here is just an example of laziness, turning a blind eye. The government, FBI, all these agencies not doing their jobs. You got the guy on the radar, but he still had a gun.
Oh, we got Leon in the comments now. Oh wow. Leon would have comment saying my family knew one of the victims actually. Oh wow.
Yeah, I saw that too on Facebook. Yeah.
That's a scary thought. What was I gonna say? I completely agree, actually, Malik, with the comment that you said, even if it's just a misdemeanor. I think even the smallest of red flags, even if it's a DUI that you weren't even charged with, like even if you're convicted for anything, like if you got a ticket of any sorts, like anything, I literally mean anything when it comes to this, you shouldn't be able to purchase a firearm. Like, your record should be cleaner than a fucking whistle. Not clean as a whistle, fucking cleaner than a whistle if you're trying to purchase one of the firearms. And even then, I'm kind of just like, even the whole, like, and I get the whole argument of, what was it? That, oh, we need guns to protect our homes. I get that argument. However, there are some cases with that will lead to situations like this. And
right,
what
yeah,
happened?
so that's the thing. So yeah, people want to have the right to bear arms, but something inside them snaps or something goes wrong, and here you go. And even if they're, like, as you said, Cody, even if they're clean as a whistle, put them under watch for as long as they have that gun. If they slip one time, send the authorities or whoever, when they're not looking, send the authorities to their homes, subdue them, handcuff them, take the weapons, and say you are no longer allowed or permitted to possess a firearm.
Yes, you don't need guns, do we? Well, like, it's hard at this point to say that we don't. Okay, we got Jesse commenting, the FBI surpassed the warnings given about the kid because they're too focused on trying to prove Trump in collusion with Russia. And Jesse, I actually did hear about the whole argument, and while I'm not gonna say that's not important, there are more pressing matters in America that the FBI need to worry about more than just that. And that rumor about Trump inclusion with Russia has been flying around for a while. Yes, and that is absolutely a very important thing to try to prove. But if situations like this are still going around, like, why? You need a, how do I put it?
Just a special system in place, for protection, for everybody's protection. That's the best way I can put it. Also, like if you're a citizen that has to use a firearm, the only way he would be allowed to use it and be pardoned for it if his home is broken into and he's physically threatened. If his life is physically, if he knows his life is physically threatened, and if he uses it in self-defense, then that's okay, but only under those circumstances. That's how I see it. That's, like I said, that's a start. It may not be 100 proof. Nothing is going to be 100 proof, at least for a while, but that's a start.
There needs to be some sort of starting ground with this whole
it's got to be some kind of starting ground, to control this kind of violence and to, decrease this kind of violence.
Right. And even like with the starting point, it's not going to necessarily decrease it, but the hope, and that's a thing, like, people could have, and people will probably come on and say, like, you can have all the hope of the world, but in reality, people are deranged in the head, and people do things for one reason or another, or the mental illness argument. And that's true. Like, people will do this regardless one way or another for some variation of reason or another. But just, you got to start somewhere, right? Got to start somewhere with this whole thing.
Now, the other flip side of the coin, okay, he had a gun before the shooting. Like I said, his neighbor saw him with a gun. Now, here's where the other bad part that comes into play. Okay, this is just a teenager. A lot of times, these teenagers will make outside friends who are not the kind of friends that most parents would want you to have. There's what you call illegal connections and illegal means. Sometimes, if you got the money for the right price, you can get any kind of gun, even not at a store, but like I said, through black market or through like connections on the streets. That's the other problem. If you can stop those distribution channels, illegal distribution channels of guns, then you really made a milestone. So see, there's also, like I said, see, like the guy in the Vegas shooter, he was ex-military, he had a wife and everything, so he probably had a lot of military buddies. And a lot of times in the military, you come across bad connections that can, maybe do you favors, if you know what I mean. So see, that's something else. So see, that's the other problem. So see, you need to find out who those people are, and if you, like I said, if you can detain them, then like I said, you can stop. It's almost like the drug trade or illegal drugs on the streets. You have all kinds, hundreds of thousands of probably illegal guns on the streets. Why do you think in the inner cities the gangs can get these AK-47s and military sprayers on the streets so easily? And see, that's bad. So hey, it is what it is. But that's something else you got to think about. Going after too. One, screen the customers. Two, find out the ones who are older men or ex-military. Find out who they know and what kind of connections they have and how they. Like I said, because that guy in Vegas, he smuggled those guns in his room like magic. I mean, how did he get those guns? That's the key to me. That's the key smoking gun. How did he get those guns, those illegal firearms, in that room? He had all kinds of ammo everywhere when they raided that room. So see, somebody slipped, and that's supposed to be a Vegas hotel, tight security, the kind of hotel celebrities stay in, and he had all them guns and was just shooting from the window like it was a video game. I mean, come on. There's something wrong here. Somebody's either letting the stakes in deliberately, or just people don't care and they're not watching.
I would believe that people aren't paying enough attention to the whole thing. And there's a couple comments right here, and I'm going to jump to the last comment you put, Jesse, and then I'm going to go back to the comment that you just put up. But I'm going to read. Actually, sorry, my mind's just messed up. But one more thing about the last comment you made, Jesse. The FBI surpassed the warnings. That's where the argument that I'm going to put in is that there needs to be a balance with that. Should people be trying to focus on the whole Trump thing? Yeah, but there also needs to be people that also are focusing on what the fuck is going on in the United States of America with people like this. with the next comment that you said was, but with the memo that was just released weeks before the shooting provided that he didn't. So why the hell did they not take handle on the kid? But regardless, it could have been stopped. It could have been stopped. I think we touched on that earlier on. If he was under the FBI watch, how come they didn't catch this guy before this whole incident could have happened? And Leon said the state of Florida does not have open carry laws like other states. If Florida did have an open gun carry law, this recent shooting could have been prevented hours before, guaranteed. Well, even before that, Leon, like the guy, as Malik pointed out, was under the FBI watch. Why wasn't it handled earlier on by the FBI? They seen the guy having guns in his house. Why didn't, and if they were able to watch what he was doing, why didn't they handle the situation sooner, not and prevented this from happening? The Vegas shooting was totally set up by our government to distract us from something. Hundreds of cameras in the hotel and not one that got that dude carrying in all that shit he had set up in that room. Oh, really? Malik, do you agree with what Jesse says about the Vegas shooting set up by the government?
Well, that's to me that could be, I guess, considered a conspiracy theory. I don't understand why the government would do that, but of course they are cold-blooded. But I mean, they've done other cold-blooded things. Thing is,
right,
sending a guy, and I think also this Vegas shooter, I think, had some issues too mentally somehow. They said to send somebody just to shoot innocents who are at a concert enjoying music. That's really that's really downright dog eat dog, dirty, cold-blooded. I wouldn't understand that. I wouldn't understand why the government would do that. But of course, you can't speak too much against the government, because then guys like us, Cody, will be on the radar, and you might get your channel flagged.
Mm-hmm. About the channel flag and all that, but well, shoot, well, dug deep into it, but that throws me off. Like hundreds of cameras didn't even catch him at all with the stuff.
No. All you heard was shots. And there's also another theory. Somebody said, I would have said there was more than one shooter. Now, if they got one, how come no one's looking for this other shooter? Unless maybe he was a CIA agent that was sent in too. So
that kind of raises an eyebrow as well when it comes to the Vegas shootings. But
yeah,
but like,
so you got two shooters, one up in the room and one on the ground. See that to me, that's a military tactic. To me. Go ahead.
Bottom line is this: when it comes down to it, when it comes to the Vegas shootings or the Florida shootings or whichever shootings that have happened in the past, present, or future, zero footage of him bringing in 47 guns, cameras, ammos, and 2 shitting hands. None at all. How would they miss footage of that? That you might be honest with it, Jesse. Like, I haven't heard anything about that until just now. That blows my mind, honestly. Like, how could they not get footage of that? That's
to me, that's a theory of somebody turning a blind eye. Literally, somebody turned the cameras off, I guess. That's one conclusion I can come up with.
I would hope not, but I don't know for sure. Again, I wasn't at Las Vegas.
Hope not, yeah. But with that theory that Jesse just mentioned, what's up, Jesse? Shout out to him. That shows to me that somebody literally turned a blind eye, literally turned the cameras off. So like I said, it's a cold-blooded government, boy.
At the end of the day, we need to start somewhere. Action needs to be fucking taken. It's not going to be taken by going on Twitter and just saying prayers and all that. If action is not taken, then more of this shit is going to happen. And I'm not saying shit won't happen if they take action. Like, it's going to be a bit if they do take action before things finally fall into place. And even then, there are going to be some people that are going to be very fucking sneaky little bastards when it comes to this, when it comes to their guns, because people are very protective of their guns for one reason or another.
That's right. And even now, I saw a video with somebody I'm sub to. It's nobody but it's he's basically a big channel. He's got a huge sub account, but he says he believes in the right to bear arms. But yeah, self protection, okay. But when if you're somebody like this or somebody like the biggest shooter, especially this guy here, we had the 19 years old, and I've seen his mugshots in his face, and even Bringer Rain brought up. He's saying the eyes. He looks like a psychopath. When a guns gets into the hands of someone like that the government needs to raise or somebody needs to raise an eyebrow. This guy was on FBI radar again. This guy's been on FBI's radar for 2 years. Why did he have a firearm, and why was he allowed to have a gun in the first place? He should have been in. He should have been in an institution a long time ago, straight jacketed up and everything, sedated, and just going through intense therapy sessions.
Right.
This is so. Everything situations are so preventable. It isn't funny, and it just makes you throw up your hands and say why. And in probably another couple months, or at any time, 2 months, 3 months later, when something else happens, we're going to be saying why, and then here it goes again,
going back around in the whole circle.
So all we're doing is going around in circles, and all the president or the government's going to do is we send our thoughts and prayers.
Boston Marathon bombings had the most impact in my life than any other type of 9/11, because I think that hits close to home, doesn't it, Jesse?
See, thoughts and prayers aren't working anymore. We need to save lives and say forget thoughts and prayers. Let's prevent this.
The person said in the video, there needs to be something that is done. Money is important in America, yes, but lives matter more than any dollar amount. When you're the president of the United States, you have a duty to look after millions and millions of lives and
billions of lives, basically.
Billions, yes. Yes, dude, literally oh my god, that's a fucking scary thought. I apologize you had to go through that, man. I can't even imagine what that day was like. First time I heard about that in school, I almost got traumatized just by the thought of it and by the images that I had seen of the Boston bombings. That shit looked scary, and I wouldn't even I'm not even near Boston. That's completely horrifying. But it's like we've mentioned this a lot in the video. Action needs to be taken, and yeah, Trump is getting a lot of money from the National Rifle Association, about $30 million, which relegated from the person's math leaves that the person's life is worth about $5,800. When it comes to people's lives, they're priceless. You can't put a dollar amount on that, because their lives matter more than fucking revenue of any kind. Yeah, you need money to feed your kids or feed yourself or get gas for your car. You need money, of course, but people's lives matter more than fucking a dollar. They mean more than anything that money can get. It's about saving their lives, not getting another check from the NRA or anything else. That's why there needs to be change. Watch the movie Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg. There's a great description of the Boston Marathon bombings. Your blood will boil. I can't watch it without getting pissed. I'm gonna write that down real quick.
Yeah, I heard about that movie. You know what? I saw the trailer for it, but I never went to see it. I want to watch that now. Yeah, that's because I know it was a movie he did based on those Boston bombings. When Jesse mentioned that in the comments, I forgot who started it. I forgot the name of the movie. So yeah, I might go and download it now.
Okay, I've written that down. And
I'm pretty sure in sometime in the future, maybe it could be 2-3 years from now, there might be a movie made based on this shooting. You never know.
Right. Leon brings up an interesting point in the comments, saying it seems to me that the FBI are not taking the individuals on their watch list seriously. When they question them and find nothing, they go on about their day as if they don't exist. And that's a problem. if someone's on the FBI list, they need to be watched. It needs to be taken absolutely seriously. I don't understand why, if they put them on their watch, why are they not looking after the person? Why? That's all I can ask about that is why.
See, that's the thing I said earlier. You're going to throw your hands up and say, why? Like the Marvin Gaye song, what's going on?
Like, really, what the fuck is going on with that?
Yeah, what the fuck is going on? That's what you can rename the song. What the fuck is going on? Now, the thing is, the FBI could pay people, the ordinary citizen, pay him some money, pay him a fee each month. Watch this guy for us. You see him holding a gun, you call us ASAP. You call me, I'll tell the authorities, pick him up, take the gun away from him, and he's gone. Institutionalized or in jail. The FBI can
like, obviously, like, there's a lot more, sorry to cut you off, but there's a lot more people on the FBI list than this individual, of course. Like Jesse mentioned earlier on, they have the whole Trump situation about them being inclusive with Russia. They probably have a lot of other things as well that's on the radar. That's fine. You assign at least one person, if not more, FBI agent that you have in the industry that you're in, to look after this person. And if you see them hold any sort of gun, even if they don't walk out the house, you inform them, hey, this person's got a gun, you might want to look into it and take action. Not take any chances with that.
That's true, yeah. And see, the FBI and the government could do so much. I mean, they have the money and they have the means. They could do it because they're watching everybody else for dumb reasons, for dumb shit. They bother other people, hardworking, honest citizens a lot of times. But when it comes like this, when it comes to taxes and everything, that has to be about the taxes, no tax evasion. This kind of, hardworking citizens who don't make a lot of money, but they have something about taxes, bill collectors. But you can't seem to watch a guy on the FBI's radar who's holding a gun. There's the big difference right there. There's a problem. There's a real problem. And like, as far as Trump and Russia goes, that's a whole separate issue altogether. That's basically, to me, that's left field. Leave that alone. Let's just concern ourselves, focus on the average working tax-paying citizens and their children, and the children that are about to graduate and become our future in the society, that are basically probably living in fear, or probably going to be living in fear in the future all across the country of going to school because they're afraid some kid behind them or in front of them has got a gun and he's a ticking time bomb.
Right.
And as far as if he's in school, this to me is where the anti-bullying needs to come in. If this kid might have been bullied at some point, and the thing is, he looked kind of skinny, like he was small, like guys might have beat up on him. There's some compassion I have for him for his mistakes. I know about being bullied. I mean, I never shot anybody, but I've lived with a lot of pain and anger with being bullied. But like I said, I don't condone still the shooting, but I'm saying if he was pushed, if he was pushed to the edge, that's what's gonna happen. So the thing is, somebody should have did something there on that end in the school. A teacher, police officer, his parents, of course. And there's another thing when it comes to the communities. When kids are messed with like this, and they're being and it might be pushed into doing something really bad. This is when the communities, teachers, parents need to get together and say, hey, this kid is being messed with, or a kid being pushed. Let's stop it before he snaps. See, that's another thing. The communities aren't getting involved. Parents and teachers, for the most part, aren't getting involved. I mean, if the outside government can't stop them, it's got to start with communities, and it's got to start basically in the homes with the parents. That's where it's really basically failing, is the parents. The parents, whatever mental issues this kid has, the parents probably should have taken him out of school if he's probably, if he was failing, or, the minute he was kicked out, he should have been put into some trade school, or, like I said, put in an institution where he can get some help, real professional help.
Right.
Of course, if they don't have the money, then see, there's the other issue right there. See, if he's a poor family, who cares? Because you got to have money to even give somebody help. To me, for something like this, I wouldn't care about money. I would give him a free of psychological help.
Right.
See, free psychological help could have saved these 17 of the victims.
There's a few comments down in the comments that I'm going to catch up with real quick. Jesse mentioned about the what's it called? One of the actors who played in the movie just looked just like the guy who was in the Boston shootings, which angered him even more. He also said, anyway, good chat. I'm out. Hitting the hay. Be well, peeps. Thumbs up the video. See you, Jesse. Hope all is well with you and your loved ones, and stay safe, man. Glad you were able to talk. Glad you were able to bring in some stuff that I didn't even know about. I thank you for that, and it's always nice to learn something, and that was a great thing to talk about. JH Films, Jack Harvey says, seems like every time something controversial happens, the FBI or the government is mentioned. Or is that just me? Leon took the words right out of my mouth. It's not just you, Jack, you got that correct. Which, yes, like, whenever something like this does happen, the FBI is talked about. Now, I'm not saying, like, it's entirely FBI's fault. We're not saying that at all. What we're saying is, more could have been done to prevent this from happening, is what we're trying to get across.
Yeah. And like I said, go ahead.
We got 1 second, we got Scott Kizigale in here, but Gregor Style says the globalists are always turning are always trying to turn us against each other. That is not entirely true, and I will get into that in a minute. Do you think we are piles of trash that need to be gone from this planet? No, and I agree with that second comment. The first comment, though, it's not necessarily the globalists. It is us individuals themselves and our own opinions on this whole thing and what we say about this whole thing and our beliefs and our thoughts and our whatever we want to think and what we say. We say things and people tend to disagree, and those disagreements turn into arguments. It's not just the globalists. It's the people that say these things and have these opinions. Everyone has a different opinion, or a lot of people, everyone has their own kind of twist on the belief that they believe in. There is a group of things. Now, the beliefs of people can be classified into one group or another group, and those groups collide with each other, whether it's to say, oh, blame the guy or blame this and blame that and all the other thing. A lot of people are to blame for this. The shooter absolutely is to blame for. Like, violence and gun violence, killing sprees is never the fucking answer. That is never the answer whatsoever. If there was a case of bullying, I think the school could have done a little bit more to prevent that, but we don't know for sure if it was any bullying. Like you talked about what Will brought up about the guy looking like a psychopath, and looking at the picture, looking at the mugshot, he does actually look like he's a little bit off. So the fact that
it's the eyes tell the story, and see his eyes looked soulless. I mean, that's just me.
Yes, like the fact he was able to get any firearm, if he did go to purchase it himself, that's just mind-boggling to me. The FBI obviously could have done something if they had seen this person with a gun and just been like, hey, we need to get on this. Like, they could have done more. Like, we're not saying it's just the FBI's fault when it comes to this whole thing. What we're saying is they could have done more. Ultimately, it goes to the fact that how people are reacting to this and who is at fault. Obviously, if the shooter is absolutely at fault because he made the decision, mental illness or not, he made the decision to go in there and kill people. No matter if you're bullied or not, that's not a justifiable reason. We've got Scott Kizigale in here. Scott, you've been listening for a while. What is your take on the whole Florida shooting thing?
What's up, Big Scotty?
That happened on Valentine's Day.
I think the guy should have been
the Valentine's Day 2018 tragedy.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible thing. I think the guy should have been arrested before he even had a chance to do what he did.
That's what I was saying. See, he should have been picked up a long time ago. I mean, this is so preventable on so many different fronts. The FBI's front of him being on the radar, and the community's front for not getting involved and trying to help his kid a little better, even before he was expelled.
Yeah,
it's like they just throw him to the wolves, and see that they should have known. Somebody should have foreseen that this was going to come back to haunt them. So, but and it did, it did. I'm not condoning it, but this is the result you get when when the right people and the system isn't watching things.
Right. Like, hold on, I think that human beings are an accident in nature. Gregory, I think you're going a little bit wonkers again, man. I only have a tendency to do that. I'm not going to hold that against you, but like, we as people are not the problem per se. Human beings fuck up. That's an obvious thing. We are human beings. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes. We all shit the bed at times. We all fucking say things that we don't mean. We all do things that are completely fucking wrong in society. actions have consequences, like I said before, and actions speak louder than words. It's not the human beings that need to go away, because if human beings go away, then there's no society, there's no world, there's nothing. There is nothing in this world but animals and plants. And even then, that's a bit of a mighty stretch. Or the way we destroyed God. God is up there. God is watching over us, and he knows that what's going on with this whole Florida shooting, and he knows that what people have done, what people haven't done, is that I'm not sure how to word that. I do apologize. I'm usually good with words. I'm not good with words when it comes to these kind of situations. But you know, I think we've gone had a great talk for a while. Malik, you've been in here for a while. Got any final thoughts on this whole thing?
I'm just saying, for in the future, I mean, this is not going to help, because like I said, no matter what we say on this hangout, and who's listening, and like I said, all of us could probably do a video and send it right to a government link. You know, they're not going to listen. My final thought is, you know, if you really want change, the people, the government, the right people. I mean, I wouldn't say the government. It's got to be the people, the right people in the government, the right people in the communities that have to collaborate somehow. You have to have the right people to collaborate to help to help to make change. You know, you got to make strides, milestones. You can put systems in place, yes, but if people are still getting hold of guns, still getting hold of the means to do harm or do crime, then you still failed. So it's got to be the right people. And I think the government is too busy looking out for money that, you know, like I said, lives are basically being sold out. So,
right.
That's my final thought, you know.
Scott, I know you just got here, man. You got any final thoughts on the whole Florida shooting thing? Or
I hope this kid gets the death penalty.
Oh, that's what's coming. You know what? I hope he gets that as well, honestly. Malik brought up a very good point, and it's very ironic. I've been listening to this song for a bit called Our Generation, because this is our generation that we're living in right now. If the government isn't going to do anything, we need to be the fucking change. We need to stand up. We need to fight this. We need to be the change that has been ignored for so long. And I don't mean like this just be a thing for a month and then ignored like a lot of other things happen. No, we need to fucking be the damn change. We need to change things. We ourselves need to change the way things go. We need to speak our voices. And I encourage all of you to use your voice to what's it called? To voice out your voice and to what you believe in. To speak out about what you believe in and what you think we could do as the fucking change. Let's see for what my cousin Stacy told me. Well, you know what? All we can do is hope and pray when it comes to that whole thing. However, with this whole thing that we've talked about in general, when it comes to change, it's going to take more than hopes and prayers to get change. We need to take action. We need to do something. I'm not an expert as to how. There's probably people out there that know what we can do first, but change needs to happen. Something needs to happen, or else the country's not going to get better. We need to better the country ourselves. If our president and all the other governments are not going to do it, we need to change it and make it better ourselves. And that's a hard thing to do, but it's not impossible, I feel. I have a very slimmer of hope with a lot of the fucking shit that's said. But people need to come to a common agreement and say, we need fucking change and we need to make this place better. And on that note, guys, that is going to wrap it up. I will go ahead and say this. Shout outs to everyone who commented, who came in. Scott Gale, Wilford, number 1, Malik X. Go check out their channels. I'll probably put it in the description box below. To anyone that's commented, I am going to open up your channel right now, and I'm going to leave it in the description for people to go subscribe to your channels. And because you guys have contributed in one way or another, whether it was just commenting or if you came in, you guys contributed to, I feel, a great discussion that we had about this whole thing.
Yeah. And in the words of Owen Hart, enough is enough. It's time for a change.
You know what? That can't be any more true. So I'm right now in the process of trying to open up the channels so I can put them. Oh god, I think I opened Leon's channel up twice. I could probably get these channels up somehow in another way. I know I just subscribed to Jesse's channel on my own thing, so I'll put that in later on. But thank you to Malik and Scott for joining in. Thank you to Gregor's Corner 1994, Scorby Death Drop, Rants, and Jesse Azevedo for commenting and joining the discussion. And if you guys have any other comments, you can leave them down below after this video goes off the air. And for now, guys, this is Brainerd Studios, closing up shop, signing out, guys. It's like Malik said, enough is enough. It's time for a change. Yeah, we need to make that change.
To quote the great Owen Hart, the late great Owen Hart.
We need to be that change because it's our generation. Take care, everyone.
Peace.